Have you ever noticed that the strongest woman in the room is often the calmest, not the loudest, not the most dramatic, not the one constantly proving herself? The woman who carries true power walks differently, she speaks differently, she thinks differently. While everyone else is panicking, she remains centered. While others are chasing approval, she remains secure. While the world screams for her attention, she knows where her focus belongs. Many women think relaxation comes from having fewer problems. That is not true. A relaxed woman is not a woman without challenges. She is a woman who has learned how to carry challenges without allowing them to carry her. Stress has become normal in modern life. Constant worry has become normal. Overthinking has become normal. But normal is not always healthy. You were not created to spend your life exhausted, anxious, overwhelmed, and emotionally drained. You were created to live with purpose, clarity, confidence, and peace. Today you are going to discover how to become a truly relaxed woman, not lazy, not careless, not passive, but powerful, focused, disciplined, and free. And if you're ready to transform the way you think, feel, and live, stay with me until the end, because one decision could completely change the atmosphere of your entire life. One of the greatest sources of stress in life comes from the belief that everything depends on you. Many women carry an invisible burden every single day. They try to manage every outcome, predict every problem, satisfy every expectation, and keep everyone happy at the same time. The result is exhaustion, not because they are weak, but because they are carrying responsibilities that were never meant to be theirs. A truly relaxed woman understands a powerful truth. She cannot control everything, and she does not need to. This realization is not a sign of giving up. It is a sign of maturity. It is wisdom. It is the moment when a woman stops fighting reality and starts working with it. Think about how much energy is wasted worrying about things that have not happened yet. How many nights have been spent replaying conversations in your mind? How many hours have been lost imagining worst-case scenarios? How often have you tried to predict the future as if your thoughts could somehow prevent every challenge from arriving? The truth is simple. Most of the things people worry about never happen. Yet they still suffer from them emotionally because they allow fear to live in their imagination before it ever appears in reality. A relaxed woman refuses to live this way. She focuses on what she can actually influence. She understands that she cannot control other people's opinions, but she can control her response. She cannot control every circumstance, but she can control her attitude. She cannot control every opportunity that comes her way, but she can control her preparation. That shift changes everything. Instead of asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" she asks, "What is the best action I can take right now?" Instead of wasting energy on uncertainty, she invests energy in responsibility. She moves her attention away from fear and toward action. Many women also struggle because they feel responsible for everyone else's emotions. They believe it is their job to keep everyone comfortable, satisfied, and happy. When someone is upset, they blame themselves. When someone is disappointed, they carry the guilt. When someone disagrees with them, they feel the need to explain and defend every decision. But peace begins when you realize that you are not responsible for managing the emotional lives of other people. You can love people without controlling them. You can care about people without carrying their burdens. You can support people without sacrificing your own well-being. There is incredible freedom in understanding this truth. A relaxed woman learns to release what is not hers. She stops carrying problems that belong to others. She stops trying to force outcomes she cannot control. She stops exhausting herself by fighting battles that only exist in her mind. This does not make her careless. It makes her effective. Because when you stop spending energy on things beyond your control, you suddenly have more energy for the things that matter. Your goals become clearer. Your decisions become stronger. Your mind becomes calmer. Life will always contain uncertainty. There will always be situations you cannot predict and people you cannot control. But the woman who learns to focus on what she can influence discovers a level of peace that many people spend their entire lives searching for. The moment you release the need to control everything is the moment you begin to control yourself. And that is where true strength begins. A relaxed woman is not relaxed because life is easy. She is relaxed because she has learned what to hold on to and what to let go. That wisdom becomes her power, and that power becomes her peace. One of the reasons so many women feel overwhelmed is because they treat everything as if it requires an immediate response. Every notification feels urgent. Every request feels important. Every problem feels like an emergency. Over time, this creates a constant state of pressure that keeps the mind restless and the heart exhausted. A relaxed woman understands something that changes the entire quality of her life. Not everything that demands attention deserves attention. She has learned the difference between urgency and importance. This distinction may seem simple, but it is one of the most powerful skills a woman can develop. Urgency screams. Importance whispers. Urgency tells you to react now. Importance asks you to think first. Urgency creates pressure. Importance creates progress. Most people spend their lives chasing urgent things while neglecting important things. They answer every message immediately, but ignore their health. They rush to solve other people's problems, but postpone their own goals. They spend hours responding to distractions while neglecting the habits that could transform their future. A relaxed woman refuses to live in reaction mode. She understands that being busy is not the same as being productive. She understands that movement is not always progress. She understands that constantly responding to everyone else's priorities can pull her away from her own purpose. That is why she develops the habit of pausing. Before reacting emotionally, she pauses. Before saying yes, she pauses. Before allowing stress to take over her mind, she pauses. That pause becomes her secret weapon, because within that moment of stillness, she regains control. She asks herself powerful questions. Does this really matter? Will this affect my life a month from now? Am I responding because this is important or because I feel pressured? These questions help her separate genuine priorities from unnecessary distractions. Many women live under constant stress because they have trained themselves to believe that everything deserves equal attention. But that belief is dangerous because it scatters focus and drains emotional energy. Imagine trying to water every plant in a garden equally while ignoring the ones that produce fruit. Eventually, your efforts become ineffective because your attention is divided. Life works the same way. Your energy is limited. Your time is limited. Your focus is limited. That means every choice matters. A relaxed woman protects these resources carefully. She understands that every time she says yes to something unimportant, she is saying no to something valuable. Every unnecessary commitment costs her energy. Every distraction steals time she can never get back. Every emotional reaction creates stress that could have been avoided. This is why calm women often appear powerful. It is not because they have fewer responsibilities. It is because they have learned how to prioritize.
पाकिस्तान में अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 60% लोग दुबले पतले हैं। बिजी रूटीन की वजह से हर बंदा वर्कआउट भी नहीं कर पाता। आपके ख्याल में कोई ऐसी चीज है जो एक नॉर्मल बंदा यूज करे और उसका वजन नेचुरली बढ़ जाए, ताकि कम से कम हेल्दी और फिट लगे?
बिल्कुल, इस मसले का सोल्यूशन है। फिट मी एक हर्बल सप्लीमेंट है जो डाइजेशन को इम्प्रूव करता है और खाने से जो न्यूट्रिशन ऑब्जॉर्ब नहीं होता उसे प्रॉपरली एब्जॉर्ब करवाता है। रोज का सिर्फ एक स्कूप दूध में और ग्रेजुअली एपिटाइट बढ़ता है, एनर्जी आती है और नेचुरली वेट गेन होता है। और सबसे अच्छी बात यह है कि 100% हर्बल है, PCSIR से अप्रूव्ड है और बिना साइड इफेक्ट के सेफ है।
वाह, काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है। मतलब एक नॉर्मल रूटीन में ऐड करने से ही नेचुरली चेंजेस आना शुरू हो जाते हैं।
बिल्कुल, रेगुलर यूज से बॉडी स्ट्रॉन्ग फील करती है, एनर्जी सस्टेन होती है, कॉन्फिडेंस भी बढ़ता है। मेरी तरफ से हाईली रिकमेंडेड है।
Wisely. They know what deserves immediate attention and what can wait. They know when to engage and when to walk away. They know when to speak and when silence is the better response. The world will always try to rush you. People will always have expectations. There will always be more tasks, more messages, more demands, and more distractions. But you do not have to surrender your peace to the pace of the world. You have the right to slow down. You have the right to think before responding. You have the right to decide what deserves your attention. A relaxed woman does not allow urgency to become her master. She chooses her priorities with intention. She directs her energy toward what truly matters. And because of that, she experiences something that many people never find: the ability to remain calm in a world that never stops moving. That calmness is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the result of understanding that a meaningful life is not built by reacting to everything. It is built by focusing on the things that matter most and having the courage to let the rest go. One of the most important lessons a woman can learn is that her energy is precious. Not her money, not her status, not even her time. Energy. Because energy influences everything else. It affects the way you think, the way you speak, the way you work, the way you love, and the way you show up in the world. When your energy is constantly drained, even simple responsibilities feel heavy. But when your energy is protected, challenges become easier to manage, opportunities become easier to recognize, and life begins to feel more balanced. A relaxed woman understands this truth deeply. She does not treat her energy carelessly. She does not give unlimited access to her attention, emotions, and mental space. She knows that every conversation, every environment, every relationship, and every commitment either adds to her strength or takes something away from it. Many women live in a constant state of exhaustion because they are always available. They answer every call. They respond to every request. They involve themselves in every problem. They carry emotional burdens that belong to other people. They say yes when they want to say no. They agree to things that drain them because they are afraid of disappointing others. Over time, this creates a dangerous cycle. The more energy they give away without replenishing it, the more disconnected they become from themselves. They begin to feel overwhelmed, frustrated, and emotionally tired, even when they cannot explain why. A relaxed woman breaks this cycle. She understands that protecting her energy is not selfish. It is responsible. Think about it. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot encourage others when you are emotionally exhausted. You cannot lead effectively when your mind is overwhelmed. You cannot bring peace into a room when you have no peace within yourself. That is why a relaxed woman becomes intentional about what she allows into her life. She becomes selective with her attention, selective with her commitments, selective with her conversations, selective with the environment she spends time in. She understands that not every invitation deserves acceptance. Not every argument deserves a response. Not every opinion deserves consideration. Not every problem deserves her emotional involvement. This awareness creates freedom. Instead of feeling obligated to participate in every situation, she chooses wisely where her energy will go. She learns that every yes carries a cost. Every commitment requires emotional, mental, or physical energy. Therefore, she asks herself an important question before agreeing to anything. Is this worth the energy it will require from me? That one question can protect years of unnecessary stress. A relaxed woman also pays attention to the people around her. She notices which relationships inspire growth and which relationships create constant tension. She understands that the people closest to her influence her mindset, emotions, and habits more than she may realize. This does not mean she judges others harshly. It means she recognizes the importance of healthy influence. She chooses to spend more time with people who encourage peace, wisdom, responsibility, and growth. Most importantly, she gives herself permission to rest, not because she is lazy, not because she lacks ambition, but because she understands that rest is part of strength. A woman who never rests eventually loses her effectiveness. A woman who never recharges eventually loses her enthusiasm. A woman who never protects her energy eventually loses her peace. The relaxed woman knows better. She understands that her energy is one of her greatest assets. She guards it carefully. She invests it wisely. She refuses to waste it on unnecessary drama, constant worry, or endless distractions. And because she protects her energy, she has more strength for the things that truly matter: her purpose, her growth, her relationships, and her future. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. That is the mindset of a woman who has learned how to live with calmness, clarity, and power. Many women spend years chasing perfection without realizing that perfection is one of the greatest thieves of peace. They believe they must look perfect, speak perfectly, make perfect decisions, maintain perfect relationships, and achieve perfect results before they can finally feel confident and relaxed. But the more they chase perfection, the more pressure they place on themselves. The more pressure they create, the more anxious and exhausted they understand perfection. Confidence comes from preparation. Think about the areas of life where you feel most secure. It is usually not because you are perfect. It is because you have practiced. You have learned. You have gained experience. You have developed skills. Through repetition and growth, you built trust in yourself. That is where real confidence is born. A woman who depends on perfection will always feel fragile because perfection is impossible to maintain. One mistake can make her question her worth. One setback can make her doubt her ability. One criticism can shake her confidence. But a woman who depends on preparation is different. She knows she can handle challenges because she has invested in herself. She knows she can recover from mistakes because she has learned from experience. She knows she can face uncertainty because she has developed the skills needed to adapt. Her confidence is not built on being flawless. It is built on being capable. This is why relaxed women are often calm in situations that make others panic. When a challenge appears, they do not immediately assume disaster. They trust their ability to learn, adjust, and move forward. They may not have every answer, but they believe they can find solutions. That belief creates emotional stability. Many women suffer from unnecessary stress because they are constantly comparing themselves to unrealistic standards. Social media, public expectations, and personal insecurities can create the illusion that everyone else has everything figured out. It may seem like other people are succeeding effortlessly while you are struggling to keep up. But remember this, you are often comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel. The relaxed woman stops playing this game. She understands that comparison destroys contentment. Instead of measuring her progress against someone else's journey, she measures herself against who she was yesterday. She focuses on growth. She celebrates improvement. She appreciates small victories. She understands that meaningful transformation happens one step at a time. Every skill begins with being a beginner. Every achievement begins with imperfect action. Every successful person started without knowing everything. So why demand perfection from yourself before you even allow yourself to grow? A relaxed woman gives herself permission to learn. She understands that mistakes are not evidence of failure. They are evidence of progress. Every lesson learned increases wisdom. Every challenge overcome builds strength. Every experience gained increases confidence. This mindset allows her to move through life with greater peace because she is no longer trying to prove her worth every day. She is simply committed to becoming better. She also keeps promises to herself. This is one of the most overlooked sources of confidence. When you consistently do what you say you will do, you begin to trust yourself. If you promise to wake up earlier and follow through, trust grows. If you promise to improve your health and take action, trust grows. If you promise to work toward your goals and remain consistent, trust grows. Over time, these small acts of discipline create powerful self-belief. A relaxed woman does not wait for confidence to appear before she acts. She acts consistently, and confidence grows as a result. That is why she walks with calmness, not because life is always easy, not because she never makes mistakes, not because she is perfect. She is relaxed because she knows she can handle life. She trusts her preparation. She trusts her growth. She trusts her ability to learn, adapt, and overcome. And when a woman truly trusts herself, she no longer needs perfection to feel at peace. Her confidence comes from something much stronger, the knowledge that whatever happens, she has the ability to keep moving forward. One of the clearest signs of a relaxed woman is her ability to create healthy boundaries without feeling guilty about them. She understands that peace is not something that accidentally appears in life. Peace is something that must be protected, and one of the most powerful ways to protect it is by deciding what deserves access to her time, energy, attention, and emotions. Many women struggle in this area because they have been taught that saying yes makes them kind, while saying no makes them selfish. As a result, they take on responsibilities they do not have the capacity for. They agree to commitments they do not want. They tolerate behavior that drains them. They allow people to cross lines that should never have been crossed. At first, this may seem like generosity, but over time, it becomes exhaustion. The truth is that constantly sacrificing your own well-being to satisfy everyone else is not a sustainable way to live. Eventually, resentment begins to grow. Frustration begins to build. Emotional fatigue begins to take over. A relaxed woman recognizes this before it reaches that point. She understands that boundaries are not walls designed to keep people out. Boundaries are filters designed to protect what matters most. They help her decide where her energy should go. They help her maintain healthy relationships. They help her stay connected to her purpose. Without boundaries, life becomes crowded with distractions, obligations, and unnecessary stress. With boundaries, life becomes clear. Your mental well-being pays the price. A relaxed woman understands that she cannot build a healthy life while constantly abandoning herself. She learns to say no respectfully, not angrily, not defensively, not with guilt, simply and confidently. She understands that every no creates space for a more meaningful yes. When she says no to unnecessary drama, she says yes to peace. When she says no to unhealthy demands, she says yes to balance. When she says no to constant people-pleasing, she says yes to self-respect. This is not selfishness, it is wisdom. One of the most important lessons she learns is that not everyone will understand her boundaries. Some people benefit from unlimited access to her time and energy. When that access changes, they may become uncomfortable. But a relaxed woman does not allow discomfort from others to dictate her decisions. She understands that healthy relationships respect boundaries. Healthy people understand limits. Healthy connections do not require constant self-sacrifice. This realization gives her tremendous freedom. She no longer feels obligated to explain every decision. She no longer feels responsible for managing everyone's expectations. She no longer spends hours defending choices that support her well-being. Instead, she trusts herself. She knows what she needs. She knows what matters. She knows what helps her grow, and she gives herself permission to honor those priorities. Boundaries also protect her emotional health. She becomes more careful about what she allows into her mind. She avoids unnecessary negativity. She refuses to participate in endless gossip. She learns that not every opinion deserves her attention and not every criticism deserves a response. Sometimes the most powerful thing a woman can do is walk away from what disturbs her peace. Not because she is weak, not because she is afraid, but because she values her peace more than unnecessary conflict. A relaxed woman understands that her life is too valuable to spend it constantly overwhelmed by other people's demands and expectations. She chooses peace over pressure, clarity over chaos, self-respect over people-pleasing. And in doing so, she discovers a powerful truth. Every boundary she sets is not a rejection of others. It is a declaration that her well-being matters too. That understanding allows her to move through life with greater confidence, greater calmness, and a deeper sense of inner peace. One of the greatest differences between a stressed woman and a relaxed woman is not the number of challenges they face. It is the way they respond to those challenges. Every person experiences unexpected problems, disappointments, delays, and difficult situations. The question is not whether difficulties will come. The question is how you will respond when they do. A relaxed woman understands that emotions are powerful, but they are not meant to be in charge. She knows that feelings provide information, but they should not always determine her actions. This is where discipline becomes one of her greatest strengths. Many people live according to whatever emotion they feel in the moment. If they feel motivated, they work. If they feel discouraged, they stop. If they feel offended, they react. If they feel anxious, they panic. Their decisions rise and fall with their emotions, which creates instability in every area of life. A relaxed woman chooses a different path. She understands that emotions change constantly. One day you feel confident. The next day you feel uncertain. One moment you feel strong. The next moment you feel tired. If you build your life on emotions alone, your direction will constantly change. That is why disciplined women learn to act according to their values rather than their moods. When they feel tired, they still honor their responsibilities. When they feel discouraged, they continue moving forward. When they face setbacks, they refuse to abandon their goals. This consistency creates a deep sense of stability that cannot be achieved through emotions alone. Think about how many stressful situations become worse because of immediate reactions. A careless comment turns into an argument. A temporary problem turns into a major crisis. A small disappointment becomes a source of endless worry. Why? Because people react before they think. A relaxed woman develops the habit of pausing before responding. She gives herself space to evaluate the situation. She asks questions such as, what is really happening here? Am I responding to facts or assumptions? What outcome do I actually want? These questions help her remain grounded when emotions are trying to pull her in different directions. This does not mean she ignores her feelings. It means she refuses to become controlled by them. She acknowledges them. She learns from them, but she does not surrender her judgment to them. This level of emotional discipline becomes one of the foundations of her peace. Another reason disciplined women appear relaxed is because they spend less time creating unnecessary problems. Many people delay important responsibilities until the last minute. Then they experience stress that could have been avoided. They ignore their health until problems develop. They neglect their finances until pressure increases. They postpone important conversations until relationships become strained. Next woman understands that discipline is often the highest form of self-care. By handling responsibilities early, she prevents many future headaches. By staying organized, she reduces confusion. By maintaining healthy habits, she protects her well-being. By remaining consistent, she creates a life that feels more manageable. Discipline may seem difficult in the moment, but it often creates freedom in the future. Every disciplined choice is an investment. Every healthy habit is a deposit into your future peace. Every responsible action reduces future stress. This is why relaxed women are not necessarily women with fewer responsibilities. Often they have many responsibilities. The difference is that they have developed systems, habits, and routines that help them manage those responsibilities effectively. Most importantly, a disciplined woman understands that setbacks are part of growth. When something goes wrong, she does not immediately assume failure. She looks for the lesson. She looks for the opportunity to improve. She asks, "What can this teach me?" That mindset prevents temporary challenges from becoming permanent discouragement. A relaxed woman is not relaxed because life is perfect. She's relaxed because she has learned to master herself. She understands that external circumstances will always change, but her discipline gives her something steady to stand on. When emotions rise, discipline guides her. When challenges appear, discipline strengthens her. When uncertainty arrives, discipline keeps her moving forward. And because she has learned to respond wisely instead of reacting impulsively, she experiences something incredibly powerful. Peace that is not dependent on circumstances. That kind of peace is not accidental. It is built one disciplined choice at a time. One of the most beautiful qualities of a relaxed woman is her ability to trust the process of growth. She understands that life is not a race, transformation is not instant, and meaningful success rarely happens overnight. Because of this understanding, she is able to move through life with a sense of calm that many people struggle to find. Most stress comes from trying to force results before their time. People want immediate answers, immediate success, immediate change, immediate rewards. They plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. When progress appears slower than expected, frustration begins to grow. Doubt enters the mind. Discouragement takes over. Many people quit not because they lack potential, but because they lack patience. A relaxed woman refuses to make this mistake. She understands that everything valuable requires a process. Strength requires a process. Wisdom requires a process. Confidence requires a process. Healthy relationships require a process. Personal growth requires a process. She does not expect overnight transformation because she understands that lasting change is built one decision at a time. Think about a building being constructed. Before anyone admires the finished structure, workers spend months laying foundations, creating support systems, and strengthening what cannot even be seen from the outside. The same principle applies to life. Many of the most important developments happen beneath the surface long before visible results appear. Your discipline is growing, your character is growing, your resilience is growing, your wisdom is growing, even when there is no applause, even when there is no recognition, even when there is no immediate reward. A relaxed woman understands that unseen growth is still growth. This mindset protects her from the dangerous habit of comparison. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy peace. The moment you begin measuring your journey against someone else's timeline, you create unnecessary pressure. You start wondering why they seem ahead, why they achieve something faster, why their life appears easier, why their success appears bigger. But comparison ignores an important truth. You do not know their entire story. You do not know their struggles. You do not know their sacrifices. You do not know the lessons they had to learn. You only see a small portion of their journey. A relaxed woman understands this. Instead of comparing herself to others, she focuses on becoming better than she was yesterday. She celebrates progress. She acknowledges growth. She appreciates small victories. She understands that every step forward matters. This perspective creates confidence because her attention remains focused on her own development rather than someone else's path. Trusting the process also means learning to be patient with yourself. Many women are extremely compassionate toward others, but incredibly harsh toward themselves. They expect perfection. They criticize every mistake. They focus more on weaknesses than strengths. As a result, they create pressure that drains their energy and confidence. A relaxed woman chooses a healthier approach. She takes responsibility for her growth, but she also gives herself grace while growing. She understands that mistakes are not proof that she is failing. They are proof that she is learning. Every lesson gained becomes wisdom. Every challenge faced becomes strength. Every setback overcome becomes evidence of resilience. This understanding changes the way she sees obstacles. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" she asks, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of becoming discouraged by delays, she uses them as opportunities to develop patience. Instead of seeing difficulties as roadblocks, she sees them as preparation. That shift in perspective creates enormous peace. The relaxed woman also understands that some things simply take time. You cannot rush healing. You cannot rush maturity. You cannot rush meaningful relationships. You cannot rush personal transformation. Trying to force these things only creates frustration. Allowing them to develop naturally creates peace. This does not mean she becomes passive. She still works hard. She still remains disciplined. She still takes action, but she no longer lives in constant desperation for immediate results. She trusts that consistent effort will eventually produce results. She trusts that every healthy choice is moving her forward. She trusts that every lesson is shaping her into a stronger version of herself. Most importantly, she trusts that growth is happening even when she cannot immediately see it. That trust becomes her source of calmness. While others panic because results are taking longer than expected, while others quit because progress seems slow, she remains committed. While others become discouraged by temporary setbacks, she continues moving forward. Why? Because she understands something powerful. Success is not built in dramatic moments. It is built in daily choices repeated consistently over time. A relaxed woman trusts the process because she knows that the person she is becoming is just as important as the goals she is pursuing. She understands that every season has a purpose, every lesson has value, and every step forward matters. And because she trusts the journey, she no longer lives with constant anxiety about the destination. She walks forward with confidence, patience, and peace, knowing that growth is unfolding exactly as it should, one day, one choice, and one step at a time. A relaxed woman does not build her life around temporary feelings. She builds her life around purpose and daily habits. This is one of the most overlooked secrets to lasting peace. Many people believe they will finally feel calm when all their problems disappear, when their circumstances improve, or when life becomes easier. But peace that depends on circumstances is fragile. Here's that peace disappears. A relaxed woman understands that true peace is built from within. It comes from living with direction. It comes from knowing who you are, what matters to you, and where you are going. When a woman has purpose, she stops being pulled in every direction by distractions, opinions, and temporary emotions. Her purpose becomes an anchor that keeps her steady during uncertain times. Without purpose, it is easy to feel lost. Without purpose, every setback feels bigger than it really is. Without purpose, every distraction becomes tempting. Without purpose, other people's expectations begin to control your decisions. But when you know your purpose, something changes. You stop chasing everything. You stop seeking validation from everyone. You stop wasting energy proving yourself. Instead, you become focused. A focused woman is often a relaxed woman because she knows where her attention belongs. She understands that not every opportunity needs to be accepted. Not every trend needs to be followed. Not every opinion needs to be answered. She has direction, and direction creates confidence. But purpose alone is not enough. Purpose must be supported by daily habits. Many people have dreams. Many people have goals. Many people have good intentions. Yet their lives remain stressful because they rely on motivation instead of habits. Motivation comes and goes. Habits remain. A relaxed woman understands that the quality of her life is shaped by what she repeatedly does. She knows that a peaceful mind is not created in a single moment. It is created through daily choices. The choice to wake up with intention. The choice to manage her time wisely. The choice to take care of her physical health. The choice to feed her mind with positive and constructive information. The choice to spend time reflecting, learning, and growing. These small actions may not seem dramatic, but they create powerful results over time. Think about how much unnecessary stress comes from neglected habits. Poor organization creates confusion. Lack of preparation creates pressure. Constant distractions create mental clutter. Ignoring personal growth creates frustration. The relaxed woman understands that many problems can be prevented through simple daily discipline. She creates routines that support her well-being rather than sabotage it. She understands that structure does not limit freedom, it creates it. When your life has healthy routines, your mind experiences less chaos. You spend less time making unnecessary decisions. You spend less energy reacting to problems. You create stability that helps you remain calm even during busy seasons. Another important habit of a relaxed woman is gratitude. She does not spend her entire life focusing on what is missing. She learns to appreciate what is already present. This does not mean she stops pursuing growth. It means she refuses to ignore today's blessings while chasing tomorrow's goals. Gratitude changes perspective. It shifts attention away from scarcity and toward abundance. It reminds her that progress is happening, even if everything is not perfect yet. Most importantly, a relaxed woman understands that every day is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more peaceful. She does not wait for a perfect future before she allows herself to experience joy. She does not postpone peace until she achieves every goal. She practices peace now. She practices discipline now. She practices gratitude now. She practices growth now because she understands that the life she wants is not built someday. It is built daily.